Hello builders, and welcome back to the World Zoo project, a giant zoo where I am building a habitat for every animal in the game. In this one we have for you the Amur leopards, the third and final cat going into the Growling Grotto, a subsection of our Asian part of the zoo. The other two cats going into this area were also the Siberian Tigers and the Cloud Leopards. If you want to see those videos, the link to them are down below. I recommend taking a look as these three habitats are linked together by a large mountain complex where guests can go in and take a look at the animals. But for now, let's start building this habitat, shall we? We start this video off by doing some landscaping as I am creating a river system that flows through most of the Asian area, starting with the Siberian Tiger habitat, which I had built previously, with a river running through that one into the Amur leopards, and eventually will be feeding down into a waterfall, which will then go into the otter habitat. From there, it will flow into multiple other habitats, all very intricately connected. And oh boy, it was quite a headache getting all that together, but hey, it worked out in the end. And if you're curious about how the entire section turned out, well, just click the link down below and watch the semi-route tour and see for yourself. For this building and viewing area that the guests will be using, I had previously built it in the tiger habitat with some adjustments while working on the cloud leopard habitat. For the sake of time and my own sanity, I decided to copy paste the building and bring it on over here and make minor adjustments so it would fit for the Amur leopards. While working on large sections, I recommend just doing a bit of copy pasting here and there. It will save you time and also help you keep that theme going between your builds. And like I mentioned earlier, this building right here is of course our underground viewing area where guests will be walking into the mountain where they can see the animals sleeping in their dens. Most of it is all rock based, as one, I love rocks and rocks are always great, but having it in the rocks makes it look a little bit more natural. Do these animals actually sleep in caves? I'm not 100% sure, but I like the look of caves, so they're getting them. While working on this cave, I ended up doing all of the interiors first before putting a roof on it, such as adding in all their enrichment items and as well as doing all their climbing frames. I've tried doing these caves before in the past where I have roofs on them. Oh, do not do that. The camera gets in the way, you're constantly clipping to the ceiling and it just is a nightmare. So get all your climbing frames in first before you put your roof on your builds. Another easy trick for doing the roofs though eventually is to copy paste your flooring upwards and move it off to the side where you can easily drag it back in. Doing that will allow you to get the ceiling done much more quicker, especially if you're just using a rock base and copying that into a rock ceiling. Very easy. One thing I like to do while building my climb frames is usually starting with the large bases first, then connecting them later with some sticks or planks or whatever the particular animal I'm working on would like to use. If it's a large animal like a leopard or tiger, I try to use larger stumps. If it's something small like a little red panda, then I'll probably want to be using more twigs and thin little branches. And like I said, getting that ceiling off to the side early on really helped getting it in here. And keeping the theme going, we are just doing more copy pasting. Just going to grab some walls that I built earlier for the other habitats and bring them on over here to fill up the space so guests can have a nice view of the animals. And we'll be leaving just a few gaps here and there where I'm going to be putting in some rock decorations. I love making this zoo look as natural as possible, so wherever I can I love putting some rocks and trees in just to fill in the space. Rocks are certainly my go-to decoration piece in Planet Zoo. I don't know why, but I just love myself some rocks. Maybe that's why I chose the name Stone. So, wait, do you think I meant something else? Nope, it means rocks. I love me rocks. Putting these stones in all over the place really helps fill up a habitat and gets rid of the ugly terrain base which I don't like seeing. I like filling in with all these stones whenever I can. And one decorative piece I love almost as much as rocks is, well, moss. Well, I suppose when you think about it, it's rock adjacent. It's basically rock covered in plants. It's a good combination of them all. If it was a Pokemon, it would definitely be a grass type and a rock type mixed together. What would that look like? I don't know, maybe something like this. Some kind of Chia Pet. Yeah, probably. What would said fictional rock type Chia Pet Pokemon be called? I don't know. Maybe like Mossmon. Actually, no, that sounds like a Digimon. Sprouttough? Chiapod? Chibloom? Oh, wait, is that one already a Pokemon? It might be a Pokemon. I don't know. I think my brain is starting to go mush with these late night recordings. I probably should be doing these recordings on the weekend when I have more brain power and not right after work. Maybe that's a note for future Stone. Anyways, perhaps you're enjoying these ramblings, or maybe you're not. Let me know down below. And while you're commenting down below, why don't you let me know your best Chia Pet Pokemon name? And I bet you were thinking I was just going to leave this space open and let guests just wander over this bridge, with potentially falling into this pit of water with the leopards. Although, well, yes, I wanted to do that, and I was very tempted to do it. Overall, I decided not to let the guests fall in and give the leopards a free meal. Even though this zoo could probably use the financial help, let's admit it. We got 156 species as of recording this zoo. So that's a lot of mouths to feed, so occasionally if a guest goes missing, that just helps our bottom line a little bit. Like I said before, these late night recordings have left me tired and my brain has started to shut down. So we're going to sit back for a little while and just enjoy some placement of some climbing frames. And with the vast majority of climbing frames in, it's now time to work on the next step, putting in some trees. Of course, we'll be putting in more climbing frames very soon, but I want to get a couple trees in there and see if there was anything we want to do with them, as in linking them to the climbing network. Climbing frame or no climbing frame though, it's generally a good idea to start your foliage with the trees. Get your large items in there first, and then work your way down to the smaller ones. As you can see here from this little guy standing on that post, we've added the leopards into the game. I always recommend doing that while you're in the middle of building, especially with animals with climbing frames or ones that could jump. It's always good to get them in there and see if they have any escape routes that you need to get and nip in the bud. Otherwise, you're going to have a bit of a headache doing it later once all the decorations are in. And speaking of decorations, let's just do another moment of silence for my tired old brain and listen to some nice Planet Zoo music while we decorate the hell out of this habitat. Let's go, builders. Ah, look at that. Nothing like livening a habitat up with tons of grass, plants, and flowers, and all kinds of beautiful things. Making it come to life quite literally. I love this part of the build. One thing I recommend doing, instead of using the default grass from the terrain tool, is just put in tons of moss and grass and all other kinds of plants, especially periwinkle. I love some periwinkle plants all over the place. Oh yes, I could go on and on about plants, almost as much as I could go on about rocks. But it is also getting very late and I have to wake up super early for work. So I'm going to stop this crazy night recording and we are going to end the video very soon with a nice cinematic road tour. But before we end the video, let me do a nice shameless self-plugging where I'm going to tell you to subscribe to the channel and like the video, leave a comment. Do all those things YouTubers like asking people to do. I got lots of Planet Zoo content and I love to build stuff over on Twitch. Mostly Planet Zoo, but I also play other games. So why don't you click that link down below for Twitch and come give me a follow over there. As there are tons of follower boards all over the zoo and anyone who follows me gets their name in the zoo. So when it's eventually finished and uploaded to the workshop, you can download it and find your name somewhere. Well builders, that brings us to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the Amur Leopard speed build. The next video coming to the channel will be the tiny Asian otters, those cute little guys. So get ready for that one. So builders, that's the end of the video. I hope you have a great day. Goodbye!